Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In previous video, we have seen how to create a new project and we have created all of these DAO, DTO, entity and enums and as well as exceptions. And we have added all of the required dependencies in our application and we have also added all of the properties required for the development of this complete project. So if you haven't watched that video, then just go to description and check out the link. In this video, we are going to start the development of implementation of JWT. So for that, let's quickly start with this. Before we start with that, first thing what I want to tell you is that in the last video, I have explained all of these stuff, but we haven't created the database. So in order to work this project correctly, we have to create this database first. So you have to search for MySQL and you have to simply create database and you have to put this, and here you can see this. Now the database is created. Now you can use this database and show tables, and here you can see we have nothing for now. Okay, so let's quickly close this. First thing what we are going to do is we have to create the utility. So for that, right click on this, create a new package, and in this package I'm going to create a new folder with the name security. In this folder, I'm going to add a new class that is nothing but JWTUtil. So in this class, I'm going to add all of the methods, utility methods like get username from the token, get role from the token, get expiry date from the token, and these all stuff. So let's quickly add those, and I'm going to add component annotation on the top of it so that this bean of this JWTUtil is managed via Spring IOC container so that you can auto wire and use it in any places. Okay. Next thing what you have to do is we have to declare a variable which is basically JWT token validity. On the basis of this, we are going to define what is the validity of the token. So I have created private static final JWT token validity. This is for 30 days, 24 hours, 60 minutes, 60 seconds and 1000 milliseconds. So this will be in milliseconds, equivalent to 30 days. Next thing what we have to do is we have to create our secret. So private string secret, and on the top of this we have to add an annotation value, and in this one from which key you want to extract the value. So JWT.secret. This is basically you can add this particular value in the application or properties, so it will fetch from here is equal to test JWT etc. like this. Or next option is what you can do is you can go over here, and in this one if that key is not available, for just default case what you can do is we can add default secret key for Netflix clone. You can add any parameter, any value. So if this value is not available in the application or properties, then this will be taken as a secret. Okay. Next thing what we are going to do is we are going to create a method that is private to get signing key. So private secret key. This will basically return a secret key, and I'm going to give it a name. Get signing key. Then we will simply return keys.hmac SHA key for secret.getBytes. Okay. Next thing, we are going to write one method to retrieve the username from the token. So public string get username from token, the string token. And in this one, to complete this method, we have to generate one method that is to extract all claims. So let me quickly write that, then we will complete this method. So public TT get claim from token, and in this one, this is a string, we are accepting token, and then we are accepting function. And in this function, we will accept claims and T and then claims resolver. In this one, we will create first, let me quickly make this small so that you can see it complete. Final claim, claims is equal to, and we need another method, that is get all claims from token. Into this one we will pass the token. Let me quickly create this. Okay, this is going to return a claim, and from this one we have to simply return JWTs.parser.verify with, and we have to pass get signing key, the method which we have created on the top, .build .parse signed claims, and to this one we have to pass the token, and .get payload. We have to simply call this, and here we got the claims. Next thing what we have to do is we have to simply return claim resolver .apply, and we have to pass the claims. Okay, now we have to go to this username from the token, and into this one we have to simply return get claims from token, and into this one we will pass the token, and we will pass claims dot colon, that is the method reference, so get subject. So this get subject will be called, and when we are generating the token we will set username as a subject in the token. Okay, next method which we need is get role from the token. So this is public string get role from token, and with this one we will accept token. Return get claims from token, and with this one we will pass a token and the function. So for that one claims and claims dot get, and what we want to get from this one is the role, and this is going to be return of what type? So string type, so string dot class. This is done. Next thing what we have to do is we have to add another method to get the expiration date from the token. So public get public, and this is going to return a date, so get expiration date from token, and this is going to accept a token. And let's quickly import this, and okay, and these two will be private. Okay, so get expiration, into this one we have to simply return get claims from token, and with this one we will pass token, and we will pass claims dot method reference dot get expiration. These methods are already available. If you click on this control and click on this, you will see get subject is there, get expiration is there, get not before, get issued at, these all stuff. This is basically in the class is coming from the Java itself. Okay, so now click close this. Now this one is done. Next thing what we have to do is we have to add one more method, that is to check if token is expired. Let's move back over here till the end. So over here we will add a method private boolean is token expired, string token, final date expiration is equal to get expiration from token, and we will get the token. Then we will return, and we will compare expiration dot before the new date. It means that the today date. If this is before, then its token is expired, else false. Next thing, we need another method to generate the token. So public string generate string username string role and map of string comma object claims is equal to new hash map, and it's automatically imported. Next thing, in the claims, I only want to put the role. So role, and simply return to generate token. This is a new method which I'm going to introduce. So claim, comma username. So if you want to add multiple stuff in the claims simply means that adding values to the token. So if you want to add multiple stuff like email and other stuff, so you can come and you can add over here like claims dot put dot email, comma, and you have to pass email in this specific parameter. You have to add on a specific parameter over here, the string email like this, and you have to set it over here. So now the email will be added, but we don't need this for now. So for this project, so let me just remove it. This you can do as per your requirement. So move back over here, click on this one and do generate token. This is accepting claims and this is the subject. The subject, we are going to set a username. So return, and we will use JWT and we have to set the claims first. So claims, and into this one we will pass the claims. Next thing, we have to set the subject. Then we will set issued at will be new date, and to this one we will pass system dot current time in millis. Next thing what we will set is the expiration dot expiration, and to this one we will pass new date system dot current millis plus the time we have declared on the top. So JWT token validator. Next, we have to set the signing with the key. So get signing key, the method which we have declared on the top, and the finally we have to call the compact, and this will return the do generate token. It will generate the token. Okay. Next thing, we have to add one last method inside this one, that is just to validate the token. So public, and we return the boolean values, either that one is valid or not. So boolean validate token, and simply we will pass the token inside this one, and we will put a try catch block. So into this one we will simply call get all claims from the token, and we will pass the token if it's returning all claims. Here you can see this, verifying the token. If this one is valid, then it's fine, it's working, and we will simply, what we will do is we will simply return. If not is token expired, then first thing, this will check the validity of the token. If the token signature is not modified and something like that it's not manipulated. Then second thing, we are checking that if token is not expired. If these two cases are satisfied, then it will return true on the basis of this one. If token is expired, it will return true and it will make this not as false. And if token is not expired, then it will return false, and this not will make it true. Over here, catch exception E, and we will simply return false. It means that it's not valid. Next thing what we have to add, now the JWTUtil is prepared. Next thing we have to add another one, that is JwtAuthenticationFilter. JwtAuthenticationFilter. In this one, again we have to declare this class as a component so that it's a IOC managed bean, and this filter will basically extends once per request filter. So for each request it will only be once filtered. So this will be done. First thing, into this one we have to auto wire the utils which we have created, JwtUtil. Let's declare this as private. Okay. Into this one, you can see we are getting some error. So if you hover over this, it's asking you to implement one method. So we will implement this, click on OK, and here we got the toFilter internal. Let me quickly minimize this left side. And inside this, first what we need is we need the token from the request. So string JWT is equal to, we are going to create one method, that is extract JWT token. And if you see, we have three stuff over here: request, response, and filter chain. So from request, we are going to get the token. So we will pass the request inside this one. Hover on this, create method JWT, extract JWT token. So into this one, first thing what we have to do is we will create the variable, that is final string, and we will get authorization error headers is equal to, from request we will get header, and we will pass which key header we want. So authorization. Next thing, final string request URI is equal to request dot get request URI. After this, now we got the request URI and the headers. From the header, we will check if that one is a bearer token or not. So if authorization header is not equal to null and an authorization header dot starts with bearer. So JWT token start with the bearer and then one space, that is total of 7 characters. If this is true, in that case we will simply return the token authorization header dot substring, and we have to pass 7 because this is total is 7 characters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and one space is 7. So it will remove that 7 and it will return the remaining. If this is not the case, then else if request URI dot contains /API /files /video / or request URI dot contains /API /files /image / and an request dot get parameter, and with this one we will get the token. So if this is also not is equal to null, so we will simply return request dot get parameter, and with this one we will pass token. Else we will simply return null. So now we got the token. Next thing what we have to do is we have to extract the username from the token. So string username is equal to, and we don't have to validate because this JWT is not null and other stuff is already validated. So what we will do is we will simply call JWTUtil dot get username from the token, and into this one we will pass the JWT. Next thing what we have to do is we have to check if we should process authentication. So first thing is if, and I'm going to write another method, should process authentication, and with this one we will pass the username. Let me hover on this one and let's quickly create a method. Let me quickly move this till the bottom. Okay, so in this method we will simply check if return username is not equal to null, and we will check security context holder dot get context dot get authentication is equal to null. It means that this user is not authenticated so far, then only we should validate or not. If this one is already validated, then we will have this condition will fail because we have already authentication token for this specific user. Then it will not do the validation. So okay, so now this time suppose the validation came as true. It means that username is not null and we don't have any existing token for this specific user. So in that case, what we will do is we will process the authentication. So process authentication, and with this one we will pass the request, we will pass the token, and we will pass the username. And what we will do is we will simply return chain. This is filter chain dot do filter, and with this one we will pass request comma response. And let's quickly write this method. However, on this one, create method process authentication. Let me quickly move this to the bottom. Save it, and let's quickly write this one. So into this one, first thing what we have to do is we have to validate the token. JWT dot validate token, and we have to pass the token inside this one. JWT, and after this we will create user details. User details is equal to, and we have to create the user detail from JWT and username. So I will write another method, create user details from token, and with this one we will pass the JWT and we will pass the username. However, on this one we will create another method below this, and in this one we will simply type a string role is equal to JWTutils dot get role from the token, and this one we will pass the token, and we will simply return user dot builder dot, and in this one we will set the username. So we will set the username to this one. Then we will set the password as empty string because this is not needed for the authentication purpose. Dot authorities, and we will pass collections dot singleton list, and with this one we will pass new simple granted authority, and with this one we have to set the role. So role underscore, and we have to set the role, and simply we will build this. Now we got the user details object. Next thing what we have to do is we have to simply set authentication in context. We will set request and user details. Now in this method what we are going to do is we are going to set the context so that this will be failed if the user is already authenticated. So hover on this one, create this. Let me quickly move this to the bottom. So over here we will simply call username password authentication token. Authentication token is equal to new username password authentication token, and with this one we will pass user details. We will pass second as credential as null, then user details dot get authorities. Next thing what we have to do is authentication dot set details, and with this one we will set new web authentication details source, and we will build this with the request. So request. Second thing is security context holder dot get context dot set authentication, and now I'm going to set the authentication token inside this one. So this is done. So in this one we are checking if the token is not already available, and these all stuff. On the basis of this that we are processing it. So now the task for JwtUtil and authentication filter is done. Next thing we have to create one config class, config package. In this config package, first thing we have to implement the security config. So right click on this, click on new package and security. Not package, this time I need a class. So new class security config, and on the top of this we will put @configuration again, just to enable this bean management by the Spring or the IOC container. Then we will enable the web security. Then we will enable method security. After this, first thing what we need is the one which we have created, that is JwtAuthenticationFilter. So we will auto wire it. JwtAuthentication private JwtAuthenticationFilter, JwtAuthenticationFilter over here. And next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one variable, that is private static final and string array. This is for the public endpoints, public underscore endpoints. Then we quickly add those. So these are the endpoints which are going to be public in this application. If you want to add any more, so you can simply put a comma over here and you can add like this, test/public endpoint or something like this. Anything if you want to add, you have to add it over here. Okay, so these are going to be my public endpoints. Just by declaring into this variable is not going to be a public. So for that we have to configure this in the filter chain. We have to override, we have to create a bean over here. Before creating that bean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a password encoder. So I'm going to keep it public so that I can demonstrate in the database as well during making the videos. This is just for demonstration purpose. So you can set it as a whatever the mode you want to use for the password encoding. So it's going to return a password encoder, and I'm going to simply return g.springframework.security.crypto.password.no-op password encoder and .get instance. I'm going to use this. On the top of it, I'm going to use bean. So this is a configuration class. So the bean will be created on the basis of this and it will be managed in the IOC container. Next thing, I'm going to make those public endpoints by configuring that in a filter chain. So this is again a bean. So this is going to be a public and security filter chain. Security filter chain. This is filter chain and this is going to accept HTTP security. HTTP, and this will throws exception HTTP, and with this one we have to set the CSRF and CSRF, and we are disabling it. CSRF dot disable. Next thing, chorus we will mark it as an empty, and CSFR is disabled, chorus is empty, and we have to set the authorize HTTP request. And with this one we have to set auth dot request matches, and with this one we will pass the public endpoints dot permit all dot any request. If these endpoint match any from this one, it will permit all dot any request dot authenticated. Next thing, for the session management, we will simply set session and we are going to have this stateless. So session creation policy, and it will be stateless. Session creation policy is stateless, and then we have to simply call add filter before JWT authentication, and we have to return username password authentication filter class, and we have to simply return http.build. So this will bypass all of these endpoints, whatever they declared in this public endpoints. Last thing which we have to do is we have to create a configuration class for the course config. So right click on this, click on new, create a class, create config, and this will basically implement web MVC configurer, and this is a configuration class. Okay, so into this one again we need one private variable that is nothing but a string array. So this is allowed origins, and we are going to get it from the application properties. So again, as I have shown you earlier, either you can declare app.course.allowed dash origins, or you can type manually http://localhost from 4200. So either it will fetch, if this is not available in your application or properties, then it will use this as a default one. Okay. So next thing what we have to do is we have to override one method. So alt insert, and if you see over here, or you can directly enter control O, and over here add course mapping, and over here you can see this. Let me just remove this, and this is registry. So over here what we have to do is we have to registry dot add mapping. Into this one you have to add the path API /*. All the endpoints which is starting with the API will be allowed. Dot allowed origins, we will pass allowed origins. Then dot allowed methods. So what method? Those are get, post, put, options, delete, patch, and these all stuff. So let's write this: get, post, put, patch, delete, and option. And then allowed headers, we will write star into this one because I'm going to allow all the headers. Dot expose headers. So in the expose headers we need only location. So let me quickly add that location, and dot allow credentials. Into this one we will write as false, and the max age for this one is 3600. Now the JWT is configured. So in all of the methods, whatever we have added in the JWT filter and the JWTUtil to generate a token and these all the stuff, those endpoint and methods we are going to use in the login one, and while registering. In the login, while returning the token and generating the token and returning it, we are going to use those methods. Right now it's configured, and now we can run this application and we can test it. So right now only database is created and no tables inside that one. But if I run this, let's quickly check out the logs. So in the last video I have shown you that we have added two config, one to print the logs SQL queries in the console and the pretty format. So here you can see this. It's created the table, the users, watch list, video categories, videos, and all things are created. All of the keys are created, and here you can see this. It's up and running on 8080. So let's quickly check in the database as well. Use Netflix clone video. I think Netflix TV video or something like this. Okay, let me quickly check. Copy the name from there. Okay, pulse screen. Use this. Show tables, and you can see now we have users, watch list, users, video categories, videos. So if you see select star from users, we have nothing. DESC users, and you will see the columns and whatever the fields which we have set as null as no, this is unique, and these all everything is in place, and our application is up and running properly. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to start with the registration, login, and these all stuff. So stay tuned, subscribe and share with your friends, and please give your valuable feedback in the comment. Thanks for watching.